Hi, my name is Cristina Petra, and I'm a graphic designer, oracle reader, dancer, quantum table operator, and psychoanalyst of spirituality counselor. And I use all of these tools in my reading to get the most of my work. I have been at WDA for almost 8 years and I feel at home there with competent teachers and team, of which I'm very connected with Jasna Clara, among others. And I'm also really grateful to my eternal mentor and teacher, Tony Thavri, who I greatly admire for all her knowledge and experience, which she shared with me with her courses and mentoring sections. Today, I'd like to talk about the entire process behind a complete oracle reading and how we can make the most of these very special tools that we have in our hands. I'd like to start from the beginning, okay? What does the word oracle mean? It comes from the Latin oraculum, which means the answer given by the divinity, or even, according to its meaning, the place of gaining of reputation for distributing ocular wisdom, where the divine presence was noted wherever called upon, which came to be considered the ground prepared prior to such practice. That said, when we do a card reading, we connect it with our divine, your divine. Each person can have their religions, who you can be more connected, and the others another one, which through the archetypes of the cards allow us to affect memory, situation, and myths that we know depend on the system we are using. But let's talk a little bit about archetype. Archetype in Greek means main impression or a mark. It's the first model of image of something. They are ancient impressions about something. It is a concept explored in several fields of study, such as philosophy and psychology. Carl Jung explained archetype as a type of image constructed in the collective unconscious of humanity, such as dreams and even narratives. The figures are to form charged with energy, that if you want to speak in a divine level, which when they come into contact with us, awaken feelings due to emotional charge that impregnate in the collective unconscious. The thought of each human being of a certain archetype form a concept of what that image it influence the human being. This creates a force field, a field of information that remain attached to us, our history and life path that will depend from people, from cartomancer and cartomancers. Archetypes are to form charge with energy that then come into contact with us, awakening feelings due to the emotional charge that's impregnant in the collective unconscious. I'd like to emphasize that there is no good or bad archetype. There is only the meaning, the frequency, and the feeling that they convey. For example, in Lenormand, okay, each archetype they are full of frequency. If a client asks if he will get a job in 6 months, it would be interesting having movement cards appeared in the spread. He needs an energy of leadership and agility, like rider or ship, right? So that we can use the vibration of the archetype, that frequency, for our advantage. Of course, it will depend of the Holy Spirit, right? If we have a relationship that we want to know if it's going to be good, we will love to have heart. That it's an archetype that talks about love, right? Or a ring. Ring, it's, about marriage, about connection. And that depends of course, of the cartomancy information that she has about it. Okay, but I would like to tell you about understand the concept of signified and the meaning. Okay, when we learn an oracle, we learn the meaning of each card. Okay, that is transmitted through language, symbol or action. But we also add in our reading our own meaning, depend on what we experience. We constructing our special meaning that will be called our signifier. Then, when we are reading, we access information that is our client's energy field to our connection with the divine. And this information is what is closest to what can happen to our clients. We absorb that, all together with our information, with the archetypes, and also the frequency of our clients. It seems complicated, but it's not. Of course, here I am theorizing, so what we can understand how a card reading takes place. However, this entire process is done naturally and unconsciously, so that the original meaning that we learn, it's very important as a starting point, which gives us more security in our reading. It's our favorite Hebrew. Sorry for my English, that is not my mother tongue. I am Brazilian, I didn't tell you. As Einstein said, there is no intuition without a previous theory, information. More or less is in this analogy. Now, I would like to add one more ingredient, feeling. Let's keep in mind the four scheme: mental, as signifiers and meaning, plus emotion, that's not feeling, what comes from our heart, that we connect with our divine, and those it's echo of materialization, that's the narrative that we are going to construct. And all these connect with our divine, okay? I used to do at the beginning, to explore my intuition, I used to read by sensation. What I mean, we already know that the card transfers information, to form ours in the collective meaning. But now, with the feeling, we start practicing. Okay, I used to practice 3 cards daily, and before doing a normal reading, I would take a look and observe my first feeling, what came from my heart. from a chakra, cardiac chakra. And I would ask myself, what feeling does it bring to me? Then I would write down, and then I would do the reading, through the information I have, the archetypes, the meaning, and the signifiers. Try it. It's a very good exercise. And remember that when we are doing a reading, for our clients, we are already in their field, okay? We touch their vibration, and the sensation comes also from them, okay? And that will do all the narrative. Let's talk about another system that I like very much, that it's La Vera Sibilla, okay? As I live in Italy, I could learn a very easy, Sibilla, because here they use a lot of Sibilla system. Let's talk about the archetype of this card here, that's Disgrazia, okay? What comes for you? We saw a lot of fire. Okay, I don't know if you can. Okay, we see a house that's burning. Okay, then the first sensation that could come, it's panic, right? Or something very fast, but we look better. It's all, all burning. We see here, I don't know if you can see, in a green, let's put it like that. We see a green leaf, okay, that talk about life, perhaps telling to us that it's not everything is lost. No, there is still life. And what can come to you, also a sensation, something rapid, that are moving very quickly, because when the fire is coming, it's very quickly that burning. And the rapidity here is bad, and can bring information that everything is over, that there is an emptiness left inside of us that generate panic. So, in the negative polarity, it speaks about destruction, accident, but in a positive question, like, if that relationship doesn't work anymore, this could be a good ending. Of course, it would be an unexpected, okay, situation. But it's good, it's positive, okay? Then, of course, that depends the card that's around it. If I pick, for example, a Viaggio, okay, that could talk about an accident with a means of transportation. But we can also, if I put like that, we can see the movement of the cards, okay, that here the horse is going to the fire, and here the opposite, he's getting out of the fire. All those are, besides of the information that we know about the meaning of each card, we can see also what that archetypes, came into us, what brings to us, what we feel about it. If I feel that if I'm going out of the burning, I think, oh my God, at least I'm going out, with something, or the past, or something that it's going to be unexpected, but I will go on, because the Viaggio is telling bye-bye, and that is what I was talking about, the archetypes, that what brings to us. For me, bring this feeling, my sensation is that. Perhaps for you, it's not like that. My reading style, I try to explain, the reader, how an archetype can be important for a given situation, provide an alternative on how to face it. I would like to explain now about the subtle bodies. Okay, let's take a look of this draw. Okay, in this draw, we can see our 7 subtle bodies. And here, I'd like to explain a little about our how it works, okay, which can also be associated with our chakras. But in the moment of the reading, what really interesting us, it's our energetic body, called the etheric double body, which is in Theosophy means the third principle in the septenary constitution. It's a beginning, a foundation, a search of an essence from which things come. Okay? Principles are thus the fundamental essence of things. These principles, both in man and in nature, are theosophically enumerated as 7. And according to Theosophy, it permeates the entire human body, being a mold of all organs, arteries, and nerves. As I told you about our, what we are interested in more, okay, is here we can see the etheric or energetic body that depends of each person. I call etheric double body, and it's in our vital body that receive information from all other bodies to animate our physical body. It's the receiver of the individual's densest energetic charge. The karmic process of disease to purge energy from the past, trapped in the time-space in the form of blockages, are trapped in this body as a possible manifestation in the physical body. If the individual follows a path of divine posture within the universe's law, the blockage will not be somatized in the physical field. Okay? And here comes out the quantum table that also I use on my readings. That depends, of course, if it's a complex reading. And I would like to talk a little bit about if somebody didn't heard about it, and what talks about the quantum table. After a lot of years of reading some oracles, I realized that the querent was not always prepared, to process some situations shown in a reading by emotion resistance generated by the memories or beliefs from this life and from past life, who believes in reincarnation. I do. And that's why I begin to ask myself, what could I help until more, the current. Of course, always if he is interesting, of. And that's why I began to study and apply the quantum system using on my quantum table that works together with the Dowsing, radiestesia, according to what needs to be worked on in the client form in their spiritual process. And then I use a quantum table, I use my pendulum, to investigate, why the current it's not accepting, some situation that is shown on the oracle reading. In the other words, through this technique, I can open files and record from this and other lives and organize, clean belief that generate creatures that we feed every day, making their mass grow, which will be installed in our high mental body, and if not treated, tend to reappear, generate cycle of pain. And that it's, who already heard about Akashic information, it's more or less one of the techniques I use on the quantum table treatment. Because we always, depends of what we pass in our life, we construct, we build the thought forms or believe that other people's, thoughts to us. And this belief needs to be made aware that their role is already past, it's happened in the past and should not be repeated in the present. Okay, and through this treatment, we can calm down, and then we are free to follow our life path, our life project, why we came here, for which purpose. If we take it off all those beliefs, that it's not going to give us, freedom to go on, I would like to show you some quantum table, then you can have an idea what that means. I use more two kinds of quantum table. Okay, this is astrology quantum table. Okay, that work with the force of each sign and each planet. Okay, then here I investigate with the pendulum, because sometimes a root of a problem in a relationship, it's not really could not be really about relationship, intimate relationship. Okay, could come from the root of it. For example, with the relationship that you have with your parents, for example. Okay, then if we didn't have a good relationship in our, in our view, in our conscience, you can project that kind of relationship in your other relationship of love relationships. And it's not necessary, or if someone come with a problem at work, okay, I'm not going to put in like the signs, okay, that it talks about earth, about materialization. First of all, I'm going to investigate, okay, and depends of the planet or the find that comes to me, I can do a reading, okay, if the root comes really on the work area, or perhaps on the emotion, if somebody has a problem with inside of house, inside of the private life, could take it to the work, and that's why the work perhaps doesn't work out. And here, with the, I work also with the chromotherapy, that each color means, some kind of energy, some kind of vibration. And then I will put, direct in that sign that come to me. I always use it with my pendulum, And then here I'm going to ask it for how long, for how many hours I should, pendulum. And there is also graphic, because it's also a radiative work with all the graphic. And then I have another kind of that's more spirituality, okay? Because first of all, I have to see what's the problem, okay? Most of the problem come from the energetic camp field, okay? From spirituality. And then here, okay, I also work with this is a methodology, a Brazilian methodology that works very good. I really like it, because it's a treatment that, do you remember that I talk about our beliefs, our creators, our thought that we create, and then it's always in that cycle. This is very good, to work for that. That I work with the colors, and here, that it's the esoteric, that we have the 4 elements, okay, and depends of the element, because we have the spirit, the etheric element, we have the water that is in our motion. For example, if a client needs more action, then I'm going to work in a part of the fire, and it's very interesting. I've been using this, and I'm really happy, with the results that I just want to show. Those tools that is very, beside of the oracle, of course. The oracle, we always gives me the diagnosis, how the situation is. Because like this, we can understand, give the conscience for our clients to understand some process that needs to be passed through, and then we can be free to go more, to go in what we want, for an example, okay? There is a lot. If some person and some client, it's very, it's trapped on a relationship, on the path, it's attached, and it's not open for another relationship, because it's always in that cycle, okay? He's not going, to be open and to find a really good relationship that is, that it's the best for it. And that's it, what I'd like to talk. And all this, I began with the oracle readings, of course, because the oracle always validates the course of all this process. That is the great values to have them as a tool. Okay? And that's it. Nice to meet you, and I hope you understand